Are you tired of being tired? Do you feel stuck in your life? Do you ever find yourself wondering, is there something more to life than this? It's safe to say that most people live and die and never ask why. But others deeply desire to know why they're here. Why are we so quick to accept any form of living that is given to us? Why are we so trusting of systems that were put into place decades ago by men who had lacked integrity? Why are we so quick to just accept life as it is, and never question if there's more to life than our current circumstances? Along this train of thought, another question arises. How many slaves became immune to the fact that they were actually in bondage? How many of them never questioned their circumstances because the chains they wore were passed down from their parents? Why were there only a few people throughout history who thought they were worth more than the value placed on them by society? Oftentimes our hearts long for freedom, but fear paralyzes us instead. What is the purpose of life? Are we really here to just pay bills and then die? People spend their entire life chasing after millions of dollars, and even if they finally attain it, they still aren't fulfilled. People with no money aren't fulfilled, either. People who have been married for years aren't fulfilled, and the people who are still longing for marriage aren't fulfilled. This still leaves us thinking, there has to be something more. Do we stay in these repetitive cycles created by the blueprint of society? Or does someone have the courage to take a step back and consider doing something differently? If we are being honest, religion doesn't offer a much better option. Its blueprint is much like that of the world, except with some extra responsibilities and restrictions. Go to work, go home, pay bills, and attend church on Sunday. Is this really the life that Jesus died for us to have? Jesus says that the true kingdom message will make someone sell everything they have in order to gain it. Matthew chapter 13 verse 44 through 46 says, "The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field." Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. Oftentimes in the Bible, we would see crowds of people who would travel from all over to hear the kingdom's message. What was it about this message that was so different? Is anyone walking several miles to hear a message about a life that looks the same as the one they currently have? Peter was once preaching to a crowd of people, and 3,000 of them sold all their possessions and joined him. In the scripture, when it talks about Peter's preaching, it says, "And with many other words he testified and exhorted them, saying, Be saved from this perverse generation." Then those who gladly received his word were baptized, and that day about 3,000 souls were added to them. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, in the breaking of bread, and in prayers. Then fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done through the apostles. Now all who believed were together, and had all things in common, and sold their possessions and goods, and divided them among all, as anyone had need. We see time and time again that people leave everything behind to follow Jesus. We see fishermen and tax collectors leave their jobs and forsake their lives for him. In the scripture it says that, one day when large groups of people were walking along with Jesus, he turned and told them, "Anyone who comes to me but refuses to let go of father, mother, spouse, children, brothers, sisters, yes, even one's own self, can't be my disciple. Anyone who won't shoulder his own cross and follow behind me can't be my disciple." The question then arises, what did Jesus have to offer them? Why were people so eager to leave their jobs and families behind to follow Jesus? What life was he offering that would make someone put their wife and kids on the back burner? Once we hear the true kingdom message that Jesus preaches, nothing else matters. I've experienced this myself, sharing the kingdom message and watching people uproot their lives and leave everything behind for a taste of something different, unlike anything they've ever tasted before. We know deep down in our hearts that we weren't put on this earth to work our whole life for another man, retire in our 60s and continue to pay bills until the day we die. Is this what it means to truly live? Of course not. True life is found in full submission to God and His plan. Full submission isn't the religious obligation of saying grace before meals and trying your best to sit in the front row of the church every week. It means completely giving your every breathing moment to God as a sacrifice and allowing Him to live through you. Romans chapter 12 verse 1 in the Message Bible says, "So here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering." This all might sound intimidating, but what other choice do we have? Aren't you tired of being tired? When will you say enough is enough and finally take the leap of faith? Everyone on this planet is hungry and thirsty for something more, but there's only one person who provides the bread of life and living water along with a peace that surpasses all understanding. When Jesus is talking to the woman at the well, He says, "Everyone who drinks this water will get thirsty again, and again. Anyone who drinks the water that I give will never thirst, not ever. The water I give will be an artesian spring within them, gushing fountains of endless life." John chapter 4 verse 13 through 14. No one is forcing you to become a follower of Christ, but the truth is, until you make the decision to do so, your heart won't stop asking, is there something more to life than this?